Hello, my name is Ben Conklin. I'm the Executive Director for Global Partnerships and Innovation here at Janes. Today, I'm joined by a panel of experts. We work, everywhere across this unmanned system space. How it's used, how we counter it, what are the future capabilities and market dynamics. And we brought together a team of experts who work in all of those areas. So we're going to go through each of them today. Today, my panel includes Tom Barton. He's the head of our news for Europe, Middle East, and Africa. Amael Kotlarski, he's our weapons team leader. And then Georgios Salapasidis, who is the head of our platforms and unmanned systems. What we're going to do is we're going to really dive into these key trends. So I'm going to actually start off with Amael. Can you take us through some of the trends you're seeing in unmanned equipment and help us understand how they're being employed?
Sure thing. Hello, everybody. So I'm going to take you through sort of three main trends that we've observed, kind of three main stories. The first one starts with we're starting to see the realization of the unmanned mothership concept, which is a concept that's been around for some time, and like in lots of things we're seeing around the unmanned space, a lot of that is materializing in Ukraine. Some of it's experimental still, some of it's conceptual, some of it is actually being used at different scales. So at the sea, some of the first ones, the first concepts to have been realized, we've seen USVs being employed or have been evolved into drone motherships. Ukraine has experimented with this concept for a number of years now with the Sea Baby and Magura, who have deployed strike FPVs. In some cases, they were radio frequency controlled. In other cases, they are tethered using fiber optics, which is a more recent development around the FPV world. The Russians are also following suit. We've noticed a platform called the Skorupa, which itself is a tethered USV controlled by fiber optic cable, able to deploy and control a number of fiber optic FPV strike drones itself from its essentially a sort of flight deck that's built upon it.
Tom, I want to hear a lot more about how you're seeing the development of these counter unmanned systems. How do we develop these effective counters to these new types of threats? Dealing with all of the complex problems of volume, low cost, potentially deadly platforms. So it's a really, really unique challenge. So I would love to hear more about how you see that evolving.
Sure. Thanks, Ben. Yeah, I'm on the other side of it from Amel. As we've decided to try and divide it up with this massively, rapidly evolving field of military equipment. It is astonishing, and this new platform is our attempt to try and to our way to try and keep abreast of some of these astonishing developments. So again, a few cherry-picked examples just to try and illustrate some of the main categories in sort of counter UAV systems as governments and militaries try to struggle with this idea of how do we deal with these mass attacks that we've seen in the Middle East and Ukraine without bankrupting ourselves, and in a way that actually is effective and hopefully future-proofed. So May this year, we saw APKWS, the Advanced Precision Kill Weapon System, 70mm rockets. Many of them, there's the process of refitting them with seekers. They were being supplied. It was announced to Israel and the US allies in the Middle East. Just the latest in many militaries thinking around these rockets. We saw September 2025 in Poland with Russian UAVs in the airspace there. Many of them were brought down with very high-end, very expensive air-to-air missiles. And that was just one point in what is rapidly dawned on most people now that this is not sustainable. Not from a cost perspective and not from an inventory perspective, because once you've shot those missiles at a $20,000 Shahed, they're gone. So these laser guided or basically guided APKWS systems are an example of a way air forces with pods on fighters that can hold a decent number of rounds can then go up, take out a good block of maybe an incoming wave of one-way attack UAVs, return back, and perhaps with some of the speed of these systems, be able to come back and have another go. That's one of the things we're seeing.
So one of the things that I really think was interesting in our immediate discussions that I want to bring up with this group is, when people talk about an unmanned market, quote unquote, which is actually how you see it represented a lot in other publications. Do you think this is actually a helpful way to think about it, or is it obscuring things that might be better understood through the warfighting domains?
Thanks, Ben. So it is tempting to treat the unmanned market as a single technological category, but that obviously blurs a crucial reality that unmanned systems, airborne, land, in the sea domain and the undersea domain, they sit at very different levels of technological and doctrinal maturity. And that drives very different production and procurement dynamics. So, for example, the UAV market is the most mature domain. We're talking about 3 decades of operational use at scale, a validated combat proven doctrine, a functional and global industrial base. There are challenges in this market, but they are not yet disruptive yet. Survivability against counter-UAS, scaling of production, especially for the small UAVs, and supply chain security, where commercial components dominate. But in general, the UAV market has all these characteristics of a mature and competitive market. It is price-driven, large number of suppliers spread around the globe. It is going through a transition phase right now, of course, because it's now splitting between the high volume, low cost production of systems and the low volume, high and expensive, exquisite systems production. So that is something that I will return later. Contrary to the UAV market, the UUV market, for example, shows low to medium maturity. It is the operational environment that imposes some very significant constraints in this market, which also increases the technological requirements and the costs of developing communications, navigation technologies. Endurance is also an issue for UUVs. But equally important, the UUV doctrine is still evolving, which means that the discussions around the doctrine shape and reshape the deployment and procurement approaches.
So with that, I think we're going to go ahead and sort of wrap this up. One observation I have from this discussion is I kept hearing the word recent trend. And I think that the theme I take away from that is this is a rapidly evolving environment. So almost everything we've talked about today is in fact a recent trend. And in fact, it can help us forecast the future, but as always, that forecast will evolve as we see these trends evolve as well. So, stay tuned. Look for more updates from us in the future on this exact topic.